Hey there, Jaden.
Hello. Hi there. What do you want to play with today?
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned about talking about corruption in the universe or the universe being corrupted. And it was interesting was like when you messaged me about that, I had this strong read on corrupted, but corruption, there's a funkiness to it. It's almost like it just saying the word just kind of dies
Yeah.
energetically. It just dies. And it's interesting because you would think like with all the places that we can just tap into that have been corrupted, you would think that corruption would have more of a read, but it doesn't. So
Yeah.
there's this
Yeah.
it was one of those interesting things.
Yeah. And it's also a languagey thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
how that came about for me is that um, here in Thailand, they had this interesting paradigm where the government that's predominantly Buddhist, well, actually, the whole country's Buddhist, but they're just like no drinking. Like they just like they drink, but they want to like have the rule no drinking. So it's just like
Mm-hmm.
they have this kind of inner polarity thing they have going on here. But what they did was they're like, that this drinking till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, this is just not right, and all drinking needs to end at midnight. And so you have the tourists that come here, and they're not going to end at midnight. They start at 10 or 11 or whatever drinking, and like they don't end at midnight. So it's like it didn't work. And what happened here was that the police and the bars kind of recognized, yeah, this is kind of a little off, and they kind of agreed that, like, okay, well, if you pay us money, which we normally consider corruption, like
Mm-hmm.
if the bars pay the police will actually notify them in advance of when they're going to go out and do raids.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is the police look at it as like, well, look, we're we're notifying you, we're protecting you, we're helping you out. Like we're in a bind. We're having to enforce these laws that don't actually make sense to us, and they don't work for you either. But we got to do something, and we're told to do it. Like, how do we make this work? And the way they worked it is like, if you pay us, we'll we'll notify you tonight. We need to come do enforcement, and we'll be there around midnight. And so the bar will close down. They'll literally tell their patrons, police are coming tonight, so we need to close. Last call 11:30, and you need to be out by midnight. And I heard that, I'm like, wow. And we look in, especially in the United States, we look at that as corruption. Like that's blatant corruption. But in Asia, they see corruption completely differently. They're like, it's kind of a necessary thing required in order to just make law and where the rubber hits the road
Mm-hmm.
work. And it's not really corruption. It's just
Yeah.
getting things done. Like this, you just got to do certain things, and they navigate and negotiate all that stuff. So, what are the points of view we have around corruption?
Ooh. Ah.
And where's
Yeah.
ever that we're aligning and agreeing with corruption?
Ugh.
Where's ever resisting and reacting to corruption?
Mhm.
Where's ever we're defending for corruption?
Ugh.
Ever we're defending against corruption?
Ah.
Oh, ever righteous for corruption?
Ugh.
Oh, that's weird. Ever
Yeah.
righteous against corruption?
Ugh.
Ah, wow. And we put all that in the pile.
Yes, I choose that.
And encapsulate and everything from down below and back behind, up above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside. And body planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Let it go, 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 let it go.
Not you, not you, not you, not yours,
Whew.
not yours.
And can we
Ugh.
shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that. And vaporize.
Vaporize, vaporize, fire, vaporize. Wow.
Rescind vocal, you can't reclaim vaporize. And what is everything that we've decided that corruption means that it doesn't actually mean?
Ah.
In the pile.
Whoosh, whoosh,
Wow.
whoosh, whoosh,
And what is
whoosh.
everything we decided corruption doesn't mean that it actually does mean?
Ugh.
Oh, yuck.
Wow.
And in the pile. Wow. And what is all the unknowable, unspeakable,
Speakable,
unseeable,
unseeable,
untouchable,
untouchable,
undetectable,
untouchable.
unconsciousness,
It's
anti-consciousness,
unconsciousness,
energy fog,
disinformation.
disinformation cloaking, Wernicke's commands,
Yes,
booby
we
traps,
can
covert,
cover.
unseen,
Yeah,
unacknowledged,
I just
undisclosed
go.
energies and frequencies around
Ooh.
all this.
Ugh.
Wow. Bulldozer. and everything down below, back behind, up above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside. And body, planet, let that go, not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Whoa! And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Boo! And vaporize.
Vaporize.
Wow. And what are all the entities, demons, creatures, coercion, aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, other non-contributive energies, frequencies, pre-type, caps, all. Everything we and the planet agreed we do for them, they agreed they would do for us. Was the benefit or value, not the benefit or value? Can we just rank all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Vaporize, by null, and can we banish all these energies?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, out. Banish,
Out.
banishing,
Body,
out,
being,
reset,
planet, universe.
Whoa. Wow. So it's like, what's fascinating is in the United States specifically, but there's some other Western countries, I would think, that it's almost like people go around with blinders on. It's like, no, there's no corruption going on. No, everything is on the up and up. Where in Asia, people are like, things are just corrupted. That's just kind of the way life is. And there's a certain degree that's kind of a normal part of doing business, and a certain amount that crosses some line that socially, culturally is kind of defined
too much. Yep.
by life in the present. And that needs to be addressed.
Right.
But in America, it's different. It's like, no. And what's fascinating is when I look at the American government, it's overtly corrupt. Like almost by design, all of the lobbying and all of the corporate ways. And in America, that's just like, no. This is democracy. It's like there's a completely different paradigm. And there's so much that I couldn't see as an American that I can see after having lived in Asian cultures and traveled around the world. It's like, wow, yeah, it's a different way of thinking about it that lets you see things more. You're not in resistance to it to the point where you're not willing to look at it.
Well, the other part that was coming up around that is the corruption for the bars or police stops or things like that. That allows people to see it directly in a day-to-day life. Whereas the corruption in America is at I'm going to say it's at a higher level, because the police officer, you don't bribe. Well, at least majority of stuff.
Yeah.
But when you get to this certain level, then that's when all those deals and the things that, aren't quite bribery, but are manipulation and corruption.
Yeah, it's almost like you're not allowed to play it at the lower levels, at the people levels, but you're allowed to play it at the higher levels.
Whoa, you feel the energy on that?
I do.
Yeah, let's change that. Whoa.
Yeah. And everything that, so what is, what is everything? Oh, wow, where to start with that?
Yeah.
What are all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, rejections, separations, form, structure, significance around all that?
Whoa, there you go.
Wow, in the pile. And what is everything that was the benefit or value of those energies or those systems or those awarenesses? Was everything that was not the benefit or value of that? Hi there. And in the pile. Wow. And what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke's man's booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies. Yeah. See there, most of those didn't light up except for the covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed, where here it's not covert.
Right.
It's on the streets. It's normal. It's just, this is the way you do business here. Where in America, it's covert. It's unseen, it's unacknowledged, and it's undisclosed. Yet they do, they disclose it, but they don't, like, they talk about lobbyists, but they don't, they just say it's an important part of our democracy. But what is it? It's corporations paying off the governmental entities to sway their votes in a certain direction so that it benefits whoever can pay the most amount of money. What is that? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And so everything, all that is in the pile. Everything down below, back behind, up above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. Body, planet, let that go, not you, not yours, not never was yours, never was yours, never
Let
was
go,
yours.
let go,
And
let
can we
go.
shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Ooh. Vaporize.
Vaporize. Whoa.
We're sending Voki, Cat, McClan, vaporize. And so I had looked at this and I kind of cleared, like this is kind of a new, it's like my edge of becoming more aware. I used to have this judgment on corruption, and then I started to see it here, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's like, what is actually corrupted? How much is it the police are corrupted? How much is it that the people who are paying the police are corrupted? And how much is the corruption at the democratic, quote unquote, or the level of government that's making rules, making laws that are not necessarily in touch with the people and the life and the way the rubber hits the road. It's like they're in a philosophical point of view trying to solve some tangle they have about whatever, and they're implementing this in a way that's like, what if the corruption is at the government, the legal, the lawmakers level here in Thailand, and not necessarily at where the rubber hits the road, where the police and the people are. And that was like a whole new way of looking at things for me. Like I'd never seen that before. And then I started to, when you look at America, and I can speak for that more specifically than other countries, but I think a lot of Western countries follow that same model. It's like, how much is that corruption at the lower levels? Not so
Yeah.
much. How much is the corruption at the higher levels?
Whoa, there's a lot of energy on that.
It's almost like it's not even corruption, it's the way you do business. Yet it's like the people here recognize, they see it differently. In America, I didn't see that when I wasn't aware. Like I couldn't see that it's called institutionalized corruption.
Right.
But anyway, this is actually all precursor to. So what are all the points of view we have around all this? Wow. And in the pile? Wow. And what is everything in the way of being aware of corruption in our reality and using it to our advantage and changing it where it works to our reality to change it? What's everything in the way of that?
Yeah.
And in the pile? And everything from down below and back behind, up above, way out front, left from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining. Body, planet, let that go, not you, not yours. Never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Wow. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that.
Vaporize. Wow.
Vaporize. And where our conversation originally was going, this is all just preparation for that, was we were looking, I've often referred to a lot of the stuff that we clear as like there's the natural, authentic, biotic planet, and then there are corruptions of that, or things that have become corrupted.
Yeah.
And I emailed you going, okay, so what am I not seeing about how can I flip this to the other paradigm and look at it the other way? And like I did here in Thailand, it's like flip it. It's like, how can I flip the bigger, all the universe? Like, where is it that the laws of the universe are actually off that causes the corrupted? Do you feel the flip in that?
Yeah, no, I see where you're going, but this is the part where I had the different point of view on it.
And that was useful. So share your.
Yeah, and so what I was getting is that in the situation like you were talking about in Thailand and the bars, it was just like that was just how everybody had to work it out, and and they found a way that it actually works.
Right.
You know, so that everybody kind of gets a little bit what they want. But the part is I saw that when we go, what I tap into the universe, woo, that the things were corrupted in ways that are designed to be to our disadvantage.
Right. Yeah, right. By
Yeah.
design.
And
The
so,
the other,
mhm,
you also said something about the difference between corruption and
yeah,
corrupted, which
yeah.
was useful. It's like, so truth, how much is the universe in corruption? How much
Yeah.
has the universe been corrupted?
Ugh. Yeah, there's a ugh, wow. Ah,
Wow.
wow. That's just
Wow.
like this squirrely whirly thing.
Yeah. And everything, all that is, can we put
Yeah.
all that in the pile?
Yes, I choose
Yeah, I
that.
choose that. Wow. And everything from down below, back behind, up above, way out front, from the left, from the right, inside, outside, everything remaining. And what is all, yeah, can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize.
Wow. Because I was perceiving that as like this globe of snakes. These
Ooh,
kind of like,
that's a pretty
yeah,
picture.
yeah. It's like this swirly thing. I was just like, yeah, whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's fascinating is we do so much in the play that we do around clearing,
Mhm.
and I haven't looked at this yet. I have a sense of it, but allows us to perceive. We had a sense of what the. Well, we shouldn't have cleared it yet. Whatever. So allows us to perceive all the corruption in the universe.
Ugh.
You can still feel it.
Hmm.
And allows us to perceive how much corruption was there, say, 10 years ago in the universe.
Wait, well, okay, so we were originally playing with corrupted versus corruption.
Okay, thank you. Corrupted. So what is
Yeah.
allows us to perceive all the corrupted energies in the universe
Yeah.
right now? And that now allows us to go back 10 years and perceive all the corrupted energies in the universe.
Huh.
Do you
That
notice a sense of magnitude there? Or
I
volume?
don't. Mine's jumping in there because like when I went back, it felt different.
Well, it's going to
Different.
feel different, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at I'm just kind of comparing
Magnitude.
magnitude.
So what's the magnitude of the corrupted aspects of the universe now? And what was the magnitude of the corrupted universe 10 years ago? Whoa, okay. All right, now I got it. It was just like I was like looking at this like what? It's like, no, that's huge. It was a lot larger 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like we do all this clearing and we feel different, but it's often easy to think that
We're not
we're
making that
just kind of
difference.
we're not making a difference, or we're just kind of in our own little head, or even if it is making a difference, it's just making a difference in my personal universe. But
Mm-hmm.
my awareness is that that's not true. Like,
Mm.
we're making a huge difference on not
Yeah.
just a planet, but all that is by
Right.
it's like, how much as co-creators of this universe is it our, I don't want to say responsibility, but if we have the perception and the capacity to
Uh-huh.
notice, yeah, this isn't right, and we're
Right.
coming from this big space,
Huh?
well, if it isn't right for us, like,
Yeah, it's not gonna be right for other people or the
it's not gonna be right
universe
for,
or
yeah. So
yeah.
like, what if the group of the people who are aware getting together and going, yeah, energetically this just does not feel right, we need to change that.
Mm-hmm.
What if that is the way the co-creation in the universe actually functions and makes decisions? And it's like there's a
Yeah.
lot of programming and conditioning about, well, you don't want to impact other people, you just kind of, you can't clear for other people, you can't clear for the world. And there's a certain degree of truth in there, but it gets you to not make change on the bigger level. But what if,
Yeah, well, that's a false light construct that you see
exactly,
all the places. It's just like the big
yep,
one I did in my abuse class. There was so much about that. Oh, that person came into your life so that you could learn that. It's like fuck. It's just like
so you got
you
to
know.
leave them there until
uh,
you've totally gotten past that. Not
yeah.
just go, man, they're just fucked up, out.
Right. 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 And
They don't serve my world, my
exactly.
reality. Yeah.
Right. And the thing is how they hook you with that is there's a hint of truth to some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, and it is that part that I see so much. And it also is the big false light thing about, you know, oh, we don't have to worry about the planet or pollution because all we have to do is snap our fingers and really think positively. We can jump into the fifth dimension or fifth reality or whatever
Right.
that stuff
Yeah.
is. And it's just like, wow, when you get
Yeah.
to see the manipulation that's like through
Mhm.
all the stuff, even the empowerment work.
Yep.
I mean, I think I've told you that before. It's like it's actually really hard, like
Yeah.
for us to find people who are not impacted by that.
Mhm.
Because if it wasn't like for you and me, it'd be like, where do I go to find out that information?
Yeah.
My dad was
Yeah.
asking me the other day, it's like, where do you find out this stuff? It's like, well, from Jaden and then my exploration. And sometimes it's reading books from, you know, false light people. So I can see it's like, no, this isn't true. This isn't true.
Yep.
This isn't true. And it's just like, I cannot believe that people listen to this stuff.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
it's programmed in such a way that it's like there are certain gut things that you have. Like,
Hmm.
you want it to be better. You want it
Yeah.
to be lighter. That things shouldn't be as difficult. Like, it
Hmm.
talks to all of
Yeah.
those directly, and it baits you on those and says that, well, this other world doesn't
The
have any of
bait.
that.
Yeah.
And what's
That's interesting.
fascinating is when you tap into that. So allow yourself to perceive how can we do this without getting tangly? I
Let's
don't
just
know that I
do it
can
without
do it.
getting tangly. I'm just going to have the
Okay.
intent, Jaden, so we don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Well, it's like when you tap into that other reality that they're inviting you into, when they say, if you leave the third dimension or fourth dimension, you go into the fifth dimension, you just leave all that behind and it's a perfect world. It's like, okay, so truth, how much is that fourth or fifth dimension a synthetic reality?
Ugh. It's
That
huge. Yeah.
and how much is that fifth dimension a physical reality, and how much is it something else?
Yeah, something else.
It's a non-physical reality.
Right.
So they're inviting you to exit the physical world, exit
Yeah.
your physical body,
Yeah.
and tune your frequency into a non-physical reality. And
Oh,
what happens when you
wow.
do that? You're kind of trapped in
Wow.
this philosophical high space, and you've now pretty much exited your body, so all this other
Mhm.
shit can move in and start to create in your body in this reality, and basically fuck with your body and fuck with your reality, and then your reality goes to shit and you're like,
Wow.
why does my
I
body not
know.
work anymore?
I just tapped into what that frequency is that they want you to get into. And oh my gosh, it's painful.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it's
oh,
synthetic, it's
it
totally
totally
not.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not life there.
Mm-mm.
It's like there's it's to me they're alien frequencies. There's more than just
Okay.
alien frequencies, but like it's all synthetic.
Yeah.
Um and it's without the body. And it's
Yeah.
without trees, and it's without the planet.
Ugh.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
why, but it messes with you. Like your philosophical, it takes your being
Yeah.
and pulls it frequency wise into a synthetic range
Yeah.
that's outside of your body's natural range, and all of a sudden
Right.
things stop working. You're not in your body anymore. You're up here. You're
Yeah.
floating above your body.
Woo.
How fun is that?
Not fun at
Yeah.
all.
No.
Woohoo.
And
Let's
so
change all that. Yeah.
what is everything that we can change? So first, what is all the unknowable, unspeakable,
Unspeakable,
unseeable,
unseeable,
untouchable,
untouchable,
undetectable,
untouchable. Ugh.
unconsciousness,
Unconsciousness,
anti-consciousness,
anti-consciousness,
energy
energy
fog,
fog,
disinformation
disinformation
cloaking,
cloaking.
ridiculous
Ah.
command, booby traps, covert,
Covert,
unseen,
unseen,
unacknowledged,
nonsense.
undisclosed energy from frequencies. Wow! Hi there, and all in the
Ah.
pile,
Oh, oh.
and in the pile, and everything from down below,
Ugh.
back behind, up
Ah.
above, way out front, left, right, inside, outside,
Ah.
everything remaining on the pile. And body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, not you. Not, never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go,
Ugh.
let it go.
Ah. Oh.
Whoa! And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I
I
choose that.
choose that.
Choo.
Boo! Vaporize.
Vaporize. Vaporize.
Percent Boku can't reclaim. Vaporize. No light, no light. And I can feel that some people are like, what? I don't understand. Like that love and light thing sounds really good. So if if you're in that space, it's going to take a bit more clearing to be able to see
Right.
what we're talking about. But let's grab some of the stuff there that occludes that or makes it that
Mm-hmm.
you can't see the clarity here. What is all the
Yeah.
unknowable, unspeakable,
Speakable,
unseeable,
unseeable,
untouchable,
untouchable,
undetectable,
undetectable.
unconsciousness,
Unconsciousness,
anti-consciousness,
anti-consciousness,
energy
energy
fog,
fog,
disinformation
disinformation
cloaking.
cloaking,
Oh, a lot of that
repeats
stuff. All
commands,
the Wernicke commands, booby
booby
traps.
traps,
There's even a lot of that. All the covert,
covert,
unseen,
unseen,
unacknowledged,
unacknowledged,
undisclosed
undisclosed
energies and
energies and
frequencies,
frequencies. Ugh.
all in the pile.
Yeah.
Wow. And what is everything that false light,
Ugh.
that all that false light reality
Wow.
that you believed it means that it doesn't actually mean?
Ugh. Yeah.
Whew, in the pile. Wow.
Ooh,
And
it's
what
up
is
there.
everything that you yeah, there's a lot up
Yeah.
there. And what is everything that you believed it didn't mean that it actually does mean?
Oh, oh,
Wow.
that is like, whoa,
Hi
yeah.
there. In the pile. Wow. And encapsulate and everything from down below. Back behind. Everything from up above. Notice how much is up above.
Yeah.
From way out front. From left. Right. Inside. Outside, everything remaining on the pile, on the pile. Body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours. Never was yours, never was yours. Let it go,
Let
let it
go,
go,
love
let it go.
body. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours, not you, not
Woo.
yours.
And can we shrink all this stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize. Rescind bulk, you can't reclaim vaporize. Out. Banishing, out. And what are all the entities, demons, creatures, coalition? Because we clear this stuff, and then what's left behind are the invaders that used to hide in that stuff. Like you feel all this. Ugh. So what are all the entities? Demonics, creatures, coalition aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, and you have another addition.
Yeah. False. Let's finish that though. The false light
Okay.
beings, non-contributive light beings, and any
Pre-tagged.
others. Pre-tag, pre-scan all,
Yep.
pre-tag all, pre-ID all, pre-encapsulate all, and let's grab all the ones that are cloaked, hidden, hiding, not active, seemingly inaccessible, or yet to be identified. Freeze all, pre-scan all, pre-tag all, pre-ID all, pre-encapsulate all. And where were we, the infinite beings at their creation, assembly, gilding, source, inception, insertion, copying, cloning, modification, or other. Freeze all, pre-scan all, pre-tag all, pre-ID all, pre-encapsulate all. And if there's any other steps and processes required to remove any of these, do you choose to do all those steps and processes to your authentic advantage?
Yep.
And tag them and prepare them for removal.
Freeze, scan it.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. And do you now choose to remove any contracts, oaths, agreements, real, applied, or assumed between you and any of these energies that are not serving you?
Yeah, I choose that.
I choose that. Retract, rescind, revoke, recant, renounce, and permanently make null and void, make null and void, make null and void, make null and void. And what was the benefit or value of interacting with all these energies and frequencies? And what was not the benefit or value of interacting with all these energies and frequencies? And is it now okay to remove all of these non-contributive energetic forces?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
I choose that. Out from bodies, out from beings, and out from all realities, dimensions, time streams, universes, and data streams. Out. Banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. Wow.
Wow. That's intense.
That was wowza.
As soon as you added like yet to be identified, I'm like, whoa. Because we've identified a lot of them, but we don't necessarily have all of them yet. But yeah, that's cool. I love that. And I've been adding, and what is everything? Because I've been noticing that the more I do this, it's not just my stuff, it's the planet stuff.
Yeah.
So what is everything that the planet agreed it would do for them?
Oh.
Because like I could clear for my space and they're still hanging out on the planet. I'm like, wait a minute. What is everything that the planet and universe agreed it would do for them? What is everything they agreed they would do for the planet and universe? What is everything that the planet and universe felt was the benefit or value? Everything that was not the benefit or value.
Wow.
Wow. And planet universe, can we destroy and create all those agreements? Yeah.
Yeah, I choose that.
Resend, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, destroy and create, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void, null, void. And everything remaining out. Banishing,
out. Banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish.
And all their customers, clients, shareholders, stockholders,
Ooh.
boards of directors, pre-tag print caps at all their networks, hybrid civilizations, universes, pre-tag print caps. Can we banish all those?
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I
Oh.
choose that. Out, banish, out,
Out,
banish,
out, out.
out.
Nice.
Wow. Wow. There's a lot of energy moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And well, yeah, and right before we started getting into this part, we were talking, or you were talking about clearing and changing things that for the universe and for other people. And one of the reasons we don't was because of all this non-contributive false light stuff. So can we go back or go forward and clear even more? That's preventing us from, like when we're doing our clearings, from clearing more that's also to the planet's and the universe's advantage.
Wow.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
I guess just even just receive that. Wow.
Wow. There's a lot of information there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I received. Wow.
Ooh.
So what awareness, energy, and frequency can you and your body be to clear more, not only to your local body, but also to the planet and the universe's advantage? And receive.
Yeah, receive.
That's not exactly the way to say that. Because there's still like what I've found, what we've been playing with a lot is focusing to your local advantage. It's like all of you, the infinite being, the body that's connected to the planet, is experiencing all of this, and it all comes to a focal point right here. It's like, so it's easy to go, well, I'm going to do it to love and light's advantage, or I'm going to do it to the highest good for all. I hear that was a lot of the spiritual stuff. The highest good for all. Well, that includes all the interference and all the manipulation and all the corrupted energies.
Exactly.
It's like, and there's a lot of them. Like they outnumber us. My interesting point of view is they outnumber us. They're not more powerful, but there's a shitload of them everywhere.
There's more of them, and we're more powerful. Even the fewer number of us, we're more powerful.
Yeah. So it's like, when I look at all of that, it's like, well, really the only thing I can do is go to my local advantage. And so where all that information centralizes is right here. Whether my heart or my body or what, but it's in the physical, it's right here, it's in the tangible. So I've been doing, it's like to my local advantage. So how can I, what is everywhere that, so what awareness, energy, and frequency can we in our bodies be to change things for us, the planet and the universe, to our local advantage? And receive. And corruption doesn't like that, but once you've cleared the corruption, you're like, wow, that feels really good.
I do it a little bit differently. So let's just see how this works. Because like when I'm clearing to, like, my and the planet's advantage, how I kind of envision it is where there's two of us. There's me and the planet, and we're partners. So I'm clearing things that work for both of us.
Sure, that works.
Okay.
I see it more tangibly as like, my body is an expression of the planet, like a drop of ocean water is an expression of the ocean. It's not, while we're seeing a separate piece of it, it's not separate from it. So because if my body feels like, yeah, this is not, we want to change this, and my being also is like, hell no, we're going to change this, my piece of the planet, or my connection to the planet, has spoken.
Yeah.
So to me, planet is here. Like, I am the planet. That's how I function with it. It doesn't work mentally in that way, but that's how I function with it. Like, I am the planet. I don't see myself as separate from the planet. The same as I don't see myself as separate from the universe. I am also the universe. And so I'm the standing in my power is choosing to speak on behalf of the planet. as
Yeah.
me, and behalf of the universe as me. And it's like my vote
Mm-hmm.
as the infinite being, as the planet, and as the universe. And I'm not the only vote, but this is Jaden's vote.
Hmm.
And other co-creators, what is your vote?
Yeah.
And when enough of us are like, mm-mm. And what I noticed is, as I stand up, like most people weren't willing to clear at the level that you and I play at.
Right.
It's like, oh well, we'll clear some agreements, but it's like, to banish things, it's like, no, it's about oneness and about unity and about living in harmony with all these wonderful
Uh-huh.
creatures, including all the invisible ones that are fucking with you. Great, okay.
Yeah.
But once you can see all of that paradigm, it's like you're caught in this bind of like, shit, what do I do with this stuff? Like,
Right.
do I have the right to say, no, this doesn't belong here?
Yeah.
But it's like, well, if you don't, who is going to?
Right.
And for me, once
Uh-huh.
I stood up and started going, no, this isn't right, and it feels better in my reality, it feels better in my body to clear those energies. And then other people can see that choice that I've made and
Right.
go, well, let me look at that, because I haven't explored that before. And let me try that and see what that feels like.
Right.
Like,
And
so
I
us
mhm.
standing in our power is not necessarily the overriding other people's reality. It's being an example or a role model of another possibility that invites other people to explore it and see if that works for them as well.
Right. And then for me, it's also that it's also standing up for your right to have the space around you that you want it to be.
Yeah.
Because there is this part because, what we want is different from the energies that want to control us.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that, like one of the examples I use is kind of like, termites in your house. Do termites have a right to live? Yes, they do.
Sure.
But do you have to allow them to destroy your house? And the thing is like, for you to have the house that you would like, you have to remove or destroy the termites.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that, a lot of like these energetic forces just like that. Do they have a right to exist? Sure, but they don't have a right to fuck with me. So, uh-oh, I can't hear you. I'm not sure if that's you or me.
Seems
There you
like,
are. Okay, you
okay.
disappear for a second. Uh-huh.
Okay. It seems like, and I like that example, because it's like with the termites, they have a role. Like, termites are part of
The
the
ecosystem.
natural process of breaking down woody materials.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they go in and they eat the wood and they excrete that, and they help decompose rotting material.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's extremely valuable, but it's not extremely valuable everywhere. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like there's a place for them, but decomposing your house around you is
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily one of them. And
Right.
it might be, and I'm not saying that that's not a choice you couldn't choose. I know plenty of people who've lived in a house with termites, and they're like, yeah, okay, someday it'll fall down and I'll just find a new house. And I'm like, okay, fine. It's another way. It's
It
a
is another way
choice.
to do that.
You
Yeah.
could choose that. Okay, fine.
Uh-huh.
But it's like it's also having, I've not lived, hung out in a house that's actually larger than a house. It's a very large building that was termite infested. And the energies in that building were horrible. Oh, it
Mm.
felt like shit. And I was there the day before, as the crews were drilling holes and figuring out where they're going to bore, and they were tenting the whole
Mm-hmm.
three-story structure. Um, and then I was there the day after
Uh-huh.
they took the tenting down, and
Uh-huh.
they it basically had killed all the termites and any other creatures that were living in there. The place felt so light. It was
Huh.
light, and it felt spacious, and it felt
Uh-huh.
inviting. And the only thing that had changed from
Uh-huh.
my before to the after was killing all the stuff that was living in there, that
Uh-huh.
frequency wise wasn't conducive to humans living there. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't,
That's
the energies
interesting.
that they represented, or that they radiated, or however that works,
Uh-huh.
just didn't feel good. And everybody afterwards was like, wow, this is so different. Like, even people who weren't particularly aware were like, I
Uh-huh.
like it here, this is better. And
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
they couldn't
Hmm.
define what that was, but you could so feel it. It was dramatic.
Uh-huh.
It was
Cool.
not subtle.
Uh-huh.
So there is that other, like those energies represent something, and in a certain place,
Hmm.
that energy is fine.
Right.
But when it's out of place, mm, you
Yeah.
know,
Well, and that's interesting because, like, when you're saying that, they're basically creating their own reality, their own
mhm,
frequency,
mhm.
and right, and it doesn't work with that. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
when we're trying to be empowered people, generally feeling good, happy, and creating,
mhm,
being in a really confined negative field is
mhm.
really hard.
It makes it a lot more difficult. Yeah,
And most of us have grown up in that space for most of our lives because
yeah,
that's what we're surrounded by. And then the
yeah,
work we do, it creates more and more space for us and everyone else.
yeah. And what else is now
Ooh,
possible
ooh,
and
yeah,
received?
receive. Ooh,
And so it's like, what other places and spaces are waiting for you to step up into, and I mean, not you particularly, but the listeners, everybody,
yeah, everyone.
waiting for us to step up and
Ooh,
and
yeah.
create the change that we internally, that we locally feel
Uh huh.
would make us feel better.
Uh-huh.
And what if helping it to make us feel better helps others to feel better and have a better life as well?
Yeah,
That was a
and
long thing,
receive.
but receive whatever is in there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, basically, what it boils down to is that you stepping up to what you know you can do creates a better world for everybody.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
And the thing is because everybody who's listening to this is a kind, caring, energetically aware person, what you want is actually what creates change for, when I say everyone except the people that are seeking to prevent that.
Well, I would say it's like, it's also when you look at those people, so the ones who are in resistance to that, okay?
Uh-huh.
So at least have to perceive, for everybody, the people in your life who are in resistance to that change. And so truth, how much is that them, the local body and the infinite being that's in resistance to change, and how much is it corruption
Oh.
or corrupted energies in their field
Mm-hmm.
that are resistant to that change?
Yeah.
It's almost like the termites in the house are saying, no, you can't kill us, we belong here. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, wait a minute. No,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
no, I don't choose that. But it is a choice. And
Yes. And you have
if
to
you're
make a
not
choice.
and if you're not standing in your power
Yeah.
and standing in what you feel works for you right here in your
Yeah.
local body, then you're making a decision based on some corruption or some other energies that are outside of you, that what if they don't belong there in the first place? And that's kind of the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the paradigm that we play in. It's like, what would this world be like
Mm-hmm.
in 10 years if we had eliminated, or if we eliminate the corruption, the corrupted energies from this planet?
Mm-hmm.
What would this world be like in 10 years?
Ooh, that gives me tingles. It was just like body was just like, woohoo. It's like, really? We could do it in 10 years? Could we? Really? Really? It's not gonna be
I,
multiple lifetimes?
yeah, it's like, well,
Uh-huh.
look at the in
What
when
we've
we
done
went
in
back
10
10
years, yeah.
years,
Yeah.
and that's just a small group of core people who've been playing on
Hmm.
that. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who are not in line with banishing that. They're still in the, oh, like we should all just join hands and sing kumbaya together and it'll all be great.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
Uh-huh.
no. And it's not that some energies can't be, like, there's some energies that are corrupted because they're hanging out with corrupted energies.
Yes.
And so you remove the core corruption
Hmm.
and they reset themselves back to their native alignment.
Right.
But there are some energies that you can perceive, they're just corrupted to their core. They're like, it's like a proton and an anti-proton, or I don't know if that's the right
Sure.
wording, but the concept is, it's an inversion of, it's the opposite of
Hmm.
something. Wow, the
Yep.
inversion of, that makes connections for me. It's like, so it basically neutralizes or eliminates this thing.
If they
It's like,
come
how,
together, yeah. Hmm.
yeah, what are all the energies of inversion that have created corruption on this planet or in this universe or in this reality. Whoa. Okay. That's not exactly the totally right word, but that grabs stuff. Everything that is, can we put all that in the pile?
Yeah.
Wow. And what is all the unknowable, unspeakable,
Speakable,
unseeable,
unseeable,
untouchable,
untouchable,
undetectable,
untactable.
unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, anti-fog, disinformation, cloaking, Wernicke, spans, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energies and frequencies? Whoa! And all in the pile.
Yeah.
Wow. Encapsulate and everything from down below, back behind, up above, way out front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. Wow. And body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Let it go, let it go. Never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, let it go. Woo. Wow. And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize.
Vaporize.
Boy.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. That was interesting.
It totally wiped my brain. I have no clue what we were talking about.
I
cleared it so thoroughly.
Yes. Well, we were working on stepping up and being fully claiming what you want in your world and what you want in your reality. And then the other part I just want to just let everybody know is all the forces have been resisting you and telling you can't do that. So it's the whole thing about the elephant and the small man that controls him. You know, it is as those energetic forces are like that. They seem like they're so much stronger than they are. Whew, but they're not. Whew.
They're not.
They feel that way. So there's no wrongness for not being able to do that. But you can do it.
They project the illusion of powerful, almighty, strong, representing all that is, representing goodness or universe. Like they twist themselves in every way they can to create this illusion to give you the sense that you're small, you're inferior, you're limited, you're incapable, you're hopeless, it's impossible, there's nothing you can change, and you're powerless to do anything about that. That's all their energies. It's everything that they project. And everything that all that is that's in your universe or reality. Can we put all that in the file?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. Wow. And encapsulate and everything from down below, back behind, up above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. Body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Never was yours, never was yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Oh, nice. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Oh, yeah, I choose that.
Vaporize. Wow.
Oh, vaporize.
Yeah. Wow. And that's another thing that I sometimes remind people about is that the clearings always work, but the forces will use manipulation to make you think that they don't work, so you stop.
Right.
And everything all that brought up. Do we choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yep.
I choose that.
So what are all the places, what are all the clearings that you've done or things that you've cleared or changed that interference came and told you didn't work, that you then undid or stood in the point of view that didn't work when it actually did work?
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
Oh,
and can we put all that in the pile and let that create in the way you intended it? Yeah.
Yes, I choose that.
And everything from down below, back behind, up above, way up front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. Body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, never was yours, not you, not yours. Not you, not yours, not yours. Wow. And can we just try and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. Vaporize. We're sending bulk. You can't work like vaporize. Oh, banishing. Wow. And they have this energy of like, don't look at us. We're not here. You can't see us. They hide, which is the reason we stick in all of the covert, unseen, unacknowledged, unconsciousness, disinformation. It's like all these energies seek to pretend to be something they're not and to hide, yet they like to pull strings in your reality.
Mm-hmm.
Like in other calls, we've looked at how like they'll even manipulate your microbiome, the
Mm-hmm.
energies that are in your gut. They can actually use the energies that are already in your gut to alter, manipulate your body in
Mm-hmm.
very subtle ways, but
Mm-hmm.
just enough that you're like, oh yeah, well maybe my body doesn't want that. Well, what if that's not your authentic body that doesn't want that? That's a corrupted element that's in your digestive system. That's a
Mm-hmm.
parasite in your digestive system that doesn't want it.
Yeah.
It's like the termite in the building. Like, do you
Mm-hmm.
leave the parasites in your digestive system and listen to the corruption as authentic
Mm-hmm.
body, or do you go, wait a minute, that no, that doesn't feel right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like looking at all the different levels and layers and ways that manipulation interference seeks to alter your perspective
Mm-hmm.
to make you less powerful, to make you not choose what you would natively choose.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
what else is not possible?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so everything all that brought up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what is all the unconsciousness, anti-consciousness,
Anti-consciousness,
energy
energy
fog,
fog,
disinformation
disinformation
cloaking,
cloaking,
renegade commands, movement,
commands, move
traps,
traps,
covert,
covert,
unseen,
unseen,
unacknowledged,
unacknowledged,
undisclosed
undisclosed,
energy
energy
frequencies
frequencies.
in the pile. Wow. And we've ran through a lot of topics. So what is
Yeah.
everything that you're aligning and agreeing with all those topics? So polarity, the other thing they love to do is they love to get you into a point of view so that you start to play this mental game of ping pong with yourself, and you lock yourself in a mind game.
Mhm.
And then they can manipulate you because you're busy
Mhm.
messing with your mind. So what is everything that you're aligning and agreeing with that's not to your local advantage? Wow. What is everything that you're resisting and reacting to? It's not your local advantage. Wow. And what is everything you're defending for? Wow. What is everything you're defending against? Oh, what is everything you're righteous for? Wow. What is everything you're righteous against? Wow. And can we bulldoze all that in the pot?
Yes, I choose that.
And everything from down below, back behind, up above. Wow. From way out front, from the left, from the right, from inside, outside, everything remaining. And body, planet, universe, let that go. Not you, not yours. Never was yours. Never was yours. Let it go. 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 And can we shrink all that stuff down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose
I choose
that.
Vaporize.
Vaporize, look at that vaporize.
Wow. We're sending book. You can't look at vapor. Banishing.
Oh.
And what are all the remaining entities, demonic creatures, coalition, aliens, reptilians, parasitics, beings, doings, gods, angels, light being, archons, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, freeze, tap down, freeze, including all the hidden, cloaked, hiding, seemingly inaccessible, or not active, or yet to be identified entities, pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, all, freeze, tap down, trace, scan, ideal. Was everything we and the planet agreed we'd do for them, they agreed they would do for us, was the benefit or value of engaging them, not the benefit or value. Can we just try and create all that?
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that. Resend, revoke, you can't
Claim,
reclaim,
vaporize,
invoke, by null,
can't
void, null,
renounce,
void,
make
null,
null
void,
and
null,
void, make null and void, make null and void.
and can we banish all these energies?
Yes, I choose
Yeah,
that.
I choose that. Out.
Out all bodies,
Banishing.
beings,
Out.
planets,
Banishing.
universes,
Banishing.
data streams, time streams. Whew.
Vaporize, banishing.
Whoa.
Wow, that was really cool.
Uh-huh. Woohoo!
Got really quiet. That's how I know it's time. It's like when it gets noisy, it's like, okay, we need to clear these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to really boggle me, but the more I've explored the point of like, where does this stuff come from? Like, does it keep coming into our space? And what I recognized is that it's like how much is what we do in our clearing. Like we clear, like we want more,
Mm-hmm.
and then we clear. We embody a bigger space.
Yeah.
Another way to say that, which isn't necessarily comfortable or polite because there's points of view around it, is it's territorial. We're expanding into a bigger territory.
Mm-hmm.
We're clearing a bigger territory, and it just naturally feels good to us to live in a big space.
Mm-hmm.
Like as I'm driving up to the building that I live in, I can feel almost a block away, things start to get lighter. That's
Wow.
my territory. When
Cool.
I clear this whole space because that's the space at which I occupy.
Yeah.
And like, I want all this area to be clear. This is my space. So it's like, what happens
Mm.
is we clear space, and then like we're comfortable with that for about how long? Minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 5 at the outset. And then we're like, well, what else is possible?
Mhm.
Like, what other space can we expand into? What other space
Mhm.
can we make cleaner? What else can we change that works for the betterment of this planet
Mhm.
as I perceive it to be from my local perspective? And and then we expand into more yuck,
Mhm.
and then
And
we
clear it.
find that, and then we're like, ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah.
And then we clear. And then we find all the invaders and the corruption. Then we clear that. And then we're like, ah, space. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
this is so nice. Minute and a half. And then we're like, more, more. And
Exactly.
it's like, what I recognized is what I've done for me personally is I don't always do this thing that we do here. There are times where it's like, no, Jaden needs a break. Or my
Mhm.
body's like, look,
Mhm.
enough clearing. Let's do something physical. Like, let's go,
Mhm.
let's play, let's do something else. And it's like, I'm just going to maintain my space, but I've cleared that so much that it's
Yeah.
like, it's easy to maintain. It's almost self-maintaining. Like, things get
Mhm.
close to me and they're like, yeah, we know where this is headed. Let's just go the other way.
Mhm.
Like, things just don't meander into my space so much
Mhm.
because they know or whatever. And the ones that do, it's like, oh, it's simple to maintain. But
Mhm.
you have to recognize that by our nature, we keep seeking to expand. And
Mhm.
I'll use
Yeah.
the word conquer. It's not really the right word, but to take over more, to clear a
Yeah.
bigger space.
I like the word clear,
Yeah,
because it is it's like, because what does a conqueror do? You know, there's a yeah, they use the land for their it's interesting, because I was trying to go in because they use the land for their advantage, okay? And we do that, except
yeah,
to our advantage isn't to somebody else's disadvantage. And so that's
yeah.
the
But you're
part.
not. But if you're doing what we're talking about, you're not looking at what's to somebody's disadvantage, because in the short term, if you have somebody who's been corrupted with alien frequencies and they've been
Hmm.
taken over,
Right.
and they come into a positive space, a space you've cleared,
Hmm.
and that space is not going to feel like it's to their advantage.
Well, then
Like,
they leave,
false, and they leave.
because
Like,
I've actually set that up.
indeed, and I have too.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell people who are deeply into false light, they come into my space, they're like, no. And you can just
Uh-huh.
see them, they kind of, like, they just
I know.
energetically, they will not connect
I've
because
had
they get it.
people halfway in the conversation turn around and leave.
Yeah. It's
And that,
like,
mhm.
energetically, the
Yeah.
manipulators, the invaders who are taken over their body and taken over their reality,
Uh-huh.
are like, oh, fuck, this is not what we're, no, get out of
Uh-huh.
here. Exit, exit, exit.
Yeah.
And story will they tell? Oh, they're not love and light. Well, true. We are not that love and
You're
light.
not.
We are
But
not
you're a
that
lot
love
of
and light.
fun and lovable. So
And we're lovable. And we happen to be light, but not
yeah,
that love and
yeah,
light.
yeah.
It's
Not
a
false
different
light.
kind of love and
Yes.
light. So it's like, you can, there is that bind that you can trap yourself in about, well, those other people, that it works for everybody.
Yeah,
No.
it's not for everybody.
But when you
Right.
start to look at the core of what is causing that person to behave that way, it's, what if it's the corruption that they've embodied that causes them to hold the points of view and
Hmm.
do the weird things that they do, or the
Well, and the
nonsense.
thing is, Jaden, I mean, if you listen to the voices that were telling you all the crap that they told you most of your life,
Mhm.
you might be doing some of that stuff too.
Oh, I did.
But you're so powerful now that it's just like you're not going to listen to those voices.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not either. I mean,
Yeah.
I listened to them and believe I was I wasn't a good person and all this other stuff for
Hmm.
so long, and now it's just like, no way I'm ever listening
Nope.
to this again.
Nope. Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it really is that choice. It
Yeah.
really is choosing it, and that's where the getting back to stepping into your power, your potency. What do you want? And it may not be the
Exactly.
same thing that Jaden and Max
Yeah.
want. It may be
Exactly.
completely different. But if you feel that in you, and like you do, I mean, I do due process about everything that I work on. Like, I don't just kind of go randomly clearing things. Like, I do check, like, what is this? Like, you even looked at in the beginning, we often will check with each other, like around the corruption thing. It's like,
Yeah.
well, okay, is this on or is this off, or like, where is this? And it's like, yeah, okay, like, how do we see what the truth is about that? And then we'll go in and we'll hack at things based on the truth. So we do process about things. I just don't go randomly clearing, though I'm not opposed to randomly clearing either. But
Yeah.
I generally will do the checking. But it's like that. Where the hell was I going with
Something about like
points
spinning
of
out.
view? We're tangled in points of view. So
Okay.
what is everything that we're aligning and agreeing with here? Wow. What is everything that we're resisting and reacting to here? I was defending
Yeah.
against something,
Okay.
and I noticed that. I'm like, I'm in polarity there. What is that?
Yeah.
What is everything that I'm, and I do, I keep awareness. What is everything what is everything we're defending for around these topics? Oh, what is everything we're defending against around these topics?
Yeah.
Now, what is everything I'm righteous for? We're righteous for around these topics, and what is everything we're righteous against around these topics? In the pile.
In the pile, in the pile, in the pile, in the pile.
And what is all the unknowable, unspeakable, unseeable, untouchable, unsectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, disinformation cloaking, Wernicke's man, booby traps, covert, unseen, unacknowledged, undisclosed energy frequencies? Whoa! In the pile. And everything from down below, back behind, up above, way out front, left, right, inside, outside, everything remaining. Wow. And body, planet, let that go. Not you, not yours, not you, not yours, not you, not yours. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And can we shrink all that down to less than nothing?
Yes, I choose that.
Big prize. We're sending bulky camera. And what are all the remaining entities, demons, creatures, coalition, aliens? It's kind of like the heavy, dense stuff creates this dense area that's like rotting wood. And then the termites see the rotting wood and they're like, oh, let's go live in there. So all of these polarities and all the unconsciousness creates this space that the corrupted energies, the invaders, the stuff we banish goes, wow, this is an awesome home to live in. Yeah, let's. So when we clear that stuff, all of a sudden the invaders are like, dude, somebody took our house. And we can just feel them
exposed.
They're exposed, they're naked. And so what are all the things that are not exposed? What are all the entities, demons, creatures, coalition, aliens, reptilians, parasitic beings, twins, gods, other non-contributive energies and frequencies? Wow.
Woo.
And what are all the hidden, cloaked, hiding, seemingly inaccessible, or not active or yet to be identified energies? Pre-tag, pre-encapsulated, all, freeze, top-down, trace, share, scan, ideal. Where were we, the infinite beings, when they were
created, assembled, gilded, source at their inception, insertion, copying, cloning, modification, or other? Freeze all.
Pre-tag, pre-encapsulate, freeze, top-down, trace, share, scan, ideal. And what is everything that we, the planet, and the universe agreed we'd do for them? They agreed they would do for us. Was the benefit or value of engaging them, not the benefit or value of engaging them? Wow. Can we just try and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Resendable, key can't reclaim, vaporize,
can't renounce, make null void, make null void, make null void.
And can we now banish all these energies?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah, I choose that. And out.
Out.
Vaporize. Resendable, key can't reclaim, vaporize. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So what receiving can we do around this topic? So what awareness, energy, and frequency can we in our bodies be to stand in our power and change things to our local advantage and receive? Wow. And what would our reality, world, universe, planet look like in 10 years if we were to stand in our power and change things to our local advantage and receive.
Receive.
Wow.
Yeah. That feels good.
Wow. 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 And where are the versions of us that are already standing in our power and already clearing things to our local advantage? Allows us to perceive those future versions of you, the other timelines, the other parallel realities where you are already embodying that. And allow yourself to connect to those versions of you, authentic versions of you, not distortions, the authentic versions of you. And allow yourself to download what is the most direct way to get from where you are now and the most fun way to get from where you are now to where you already are in those other realities or those other spaces, and receive to your advantage.
Receive.
Ooh, I'm tingling. Wow. 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 Wow.
Awesome.
Wow, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
And what else is now possible? And receive.
Receive. Ooh.
Wow. Wow. And what else is now possible?
What else is now possible? Receive.
Wow. 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 So for those watching, if this kind of play feels good to you, where can they find you, Max?
They can find me at maxriggs.com.
I like that easy. And if you want to come play with me, you can find me at Jaden-Fox. It's JADEN-Fox.com. Or any one of the people who play like we do. You can feel the people who play like this. Like they play at a different level that just feels nourishing to you. Find somebody who you align with or that feels good for you to play with, and allow yourself to step into more of the truth of you and clear the corruption out of your universe.
Yeah.
And play more, like have more fun in your life.
Yeah.
So that's my invitation.
And you can.
It's possible. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily immediate. It isn't always simple, but it's doable. And the more of us who have done it, the path
the
gets
easier
more
it gets. The
trampled,
easier it
and
gets.
it's easier to see. Yeah. And we also get better explaining what's the most direct route to get there, and perceiving what can be changed the most quickly.
And we're always developing better and better tools.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the exciting
That's
thing.
our play.
It is.
That's what we get off on it. It's like before this call, Max is like, yeah, and I've been playing with this. The hidden cloaked hiding, seemingly inaccessible, not active, yet to be identified. And I'm like, woo! So I wrote it down, and you'll see it. You'll see it in other places in the paperwork. It's like, yeah, we just keep sharing with each other, and helping to create a community of people who empower each other to become more.
Yeah. Can you feel that? That's just like amazing tapping into that.
It's not a competition. It's not who can be better. It's not who has the right answer. It's like, who do you resonate with, and how can we support each other in our own play, in our own way, to be more. To be more.
Yeah. Yay! Woohoo! Well, this was a pretty powerful call, Jaden.
I loved it.
We went everywhere. So.
Yep. I like it. We are everywhere.
That's true. Infinite being.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you, Max, and thank you for everybody who's listened to us. And we'll see you in whatever the next program is.
Yeah. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.